Welcome to Wrestling with Snipes. Today, we'll be taking a look at AEW Dynamite for November 20th, 2024, the go-home show to Full Gear. The opening contest was an 8-man tag, an all-star 8-man tag as they say, with Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Ospreay, and Mark Davis against Kyle Fletcher, Brian Cage, Lance Archer, and Takeshita. A brawl breaks out before the bell even rings. Then the bell does ring and we start the match with Mark Davis and Takeshita. Davis catches Takeshita and hits him with a spine buster. Then Davis makes a tag to Ricochet, who takes flight and dives over the top rope, taking out the Don Callis family. Ospreay climbs to the top, but Fletcher meets him there and knocks him off the top. Archer then chokeslams Ricochet from the ring to the outside of the ring, taking out his own partners. Then we come back from break and Will Ospreay makes the hot tag to Big Will Hobbs, no relation to Big Jim, Jimmy Uso. Hobbs clotheslines Takeshita, then Cage and Archer try to double suplex Hobbs, but Hobbs escapes and hits a double clothesline, knocking both men down. Hobbs then makes a tag to Mark Davis, and Davis hits a pile driver on Takeshita. 1, 2, Fletcher makes the save. Then Fletcher hits a suicide dive to the outside, taking out Will Ospreay, and Takeshita hits the big knee on Davis. 1, 2, 3, the Don Callis family picks up the victory. Then we see Renee Paquette outside the arena, and arriving is the Hurt Syndicate. Renee says, MVP, I heard you have a surprise. MVP says, yes, I've got a treat for everybody tonight and at Dynamite in Reading, Pennsylvania. Bobby Lashley will be in action tonight. Then out of nowhere, Swerve Strickland shows up and hits Bobby with his fist wrapped with a chain, and down goes Bobby Lashley. Then we go out to the ring and out comes Adam Cole, baby. Cole says, who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby? Adam says he's very disappointed he won't be fighting MJF this Sunday at Full Gear, but Cole says he and Roddy have the same goal, and that is to give MJF the ass whooping of a lifetime. And out of nowhere, here comes Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle says, we've known each other for a long time. We had our second ever match together in Reading, Pennsylvania, where we are tonight. But this crusade with MJF has got to end before someone gets hurt. MJF is like playing with fire, and I don't want any of my friends to get burned. Oh my. MJF is more of an evil bastard than you'll ever be, and that's a good thing. And then Kyle O'Reilly walks away. And then we see the number one contender, Orange Cassidy, in the back, where he says this Sunday he will beat Jon Moxley all alone. And then the conglomeration come in, and Mark Briscoe says that doesn't make sense. There's 5 of them and 1 of you. We got your back, man. Orange Cassidy then yells, please let me do this on my own. And they agree. Then the next match is Chris Statlander one-on-one with Hikaru Shida. They shake hands before the match and then they lock up, and then Shida hits an arm drag. Shida then hits a missile dropkick from the second rope. Shida then leaves the ring, pulling Statlander to the edge of the ring and backs up and then hits a running knee lift. And then we go to commercial break. Back from break and we see Statlander hit a reverse body slam. Shida gets up, then hits a German suplex and calls for the katana, but Statlander reverses it into a tombstone. 1, 2, 3, Chris Statlander picks up the victory. Then out comes Camille and the TBS champion Mercedes Moné. Moné says, Reading, say hello to your CEO. Moné says she is rarely impressed with her own competition. Moné says she will not lose the TBS championship because she's the greatest champion of all time. Moné then tells Camille to go into the ring and take Chris Statlander out. Camille hesitantly goes into the ring with her arm in a sling. She swings at Chris, but Chris blocks her, and then Statlander decks Camille and tosses her out of the ring. Moné then jumps on Statlander's back, but Statlander pulls her over his shoulder and hits a tombstone. Statlander then raises the TBS championship with Moné laid out. Then we come back from break and out comes the almighty Bobby Lashley along with the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley then goes on to squash 2 jobbers in a handicap match. He hits a spear and he wins with the Hurt Lock. Then after the match, Prince Nana comes out with a chair and Shelton Benjamin goes after him, chasing him to the back, and out pops from underneath the ring Swerve Strickland. Swerve jumps in the ring and hits Bobby from behind with the chain wrapped around his hand. Swerve then knocks down MVP from the apron and knocks down a returning Shelton Benjamin as well. Swerve then hits Bobby with the last call and the Swerve Stomp. Swerve jumps in the crowd and celebrates as the Hurt Syndicate looks very upset. Then we go to the back and we see Renee Paquette standing with the Glamour, Mariah May, the women's champion, and Mina. May says no champion deserves a celebration more than me. My reign will be historic. Mariah has been working so hard and I'm so proud of her, and I will give her a celebration she will never forget. The celebration is on for Full Gear. Next we head to the ring and out comes Darby Allin, followed by his opponent Claudio Castagnoli. Darby starts the match with a headlock, but Claudio tosses him off with ease. Darby then goes for a coffin drop to the outside, but Claudio catches him and throws him like he's nothing. Claudio then hits a running tackle on the outside, followed by a running uppercut, knocking Darby Allin over the barricade. Claudio then picks up Darby and puts him in a position for a vertical suplex, and as he's holding him up, he walks up the stairs and tosses him inside the ring. Then we come back from commercial break and we see Darby climbing to the top rope, but Claudio pushes his legs from underneath him. Then Claudio hits a gut-wrench superplex from the top rope, but only gets a 2 count. Claudio pulls Darby onto the announce table and presses him above his head, launching him over the table onto another table, but that table doesn't even break. Darby just gets in the ring before the 10 count, but then Claudio hits a massive lariat. 1, 2, 3. Claudio picks up the victory over Darby Allin. Then we come back from break and Tony Schiavone's on the stage and he brings out Roderick Strong along with Taven and Bennett. Strong says, I feel like it's Christmas. I'm finally gonna get my hands on MJF at Full Gear. See, I have earned everything I have, and MJF, you have been spoon-fed everything. At Full Gear, I'm not only gonna break your back, but I'm gonna humble you. Then it was time for the main event of the evening, where Orange Cassidy went one-on-one with Wheeler Yuta. Yuta drop kicks OC before the bell rings. Then the bell rings and Yuta hits a brainbuster onto the barricade, leaving OC down and out. Yuta then pulls Orange Cassidy up on the apron and hits him with a DDT. Then we come back from break and we see Yuta hitting a tombstone but only gets a 2 count. Then Wheeler goes and grabs a steel chair, comes back into the ring and swings at Orange Cassidy, but Cassidy ducks. Then Cassidy rolls up Wheeler Yuta. 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy wins the main event. Yuta looks absolutely shocked, and then Orange Cassidy turns around and Pac hits him with a big boot to the face. Then the Death Riders put the boots to Cassidy. Then Pac duct tapes Orange Cassidy's hands in his pockets. Moxley then gets in the ring and decks Cassidy with a big forearm, laying him out. The Death Riders stand tall to close out Dynamite with Orange Cassidy out cold.